In the haunted town of Garnet, Montana, one of our cameramen had an experience with a ghost and a spirit-attached object, a mirror.
I've probably filmed 20, 25 ghost towns over the last 3 or 4 years. I'm not one of these people who experiences the paranormal. Normally, I'm pretty stable. I don't ever feel anything, but we arrived in Garnet, Montana, which is really early in the morning because we wanted to get there before it filled up with tourists. And we got there, and my other cameraman and we started working over the different buildings. And I went into the boarding house, which was totally empty. I was there all by myself. And I worked my way up the stairs and began filming in these rooms filled with old beds and things that people might have used when they were staying overnight. And when I was filming, I looked in this mirror, which you can see right here. And as plain as day, there was a cowboy looking at me. He was in his 30s. He wasn't poorly dressed or well dressed. He had a slight beard. He wasn't threatening, but he was clearly a person I could see him as plain as day. And I swung around to see who was behind me, and there was nobody there.
There are many other stories of a paranormal presence here. Caretakers and individuals who were there when the streets were deserted have reported unexplained footsteps, doors shutting, music and laughter in the abandoned town of Garnet. So many experiences that the park rangers are forbidden to talk about them. Garnet is one of the few ghost towns that can be viewed from above. It is said that when people listen closely at dusk, they can clearly hear the town come alive in an eerie chorus of sounds. That's only a small part of its haunting. Named for the semi-precious stone found in nearby rocks, Garnet became a booming gold town in the late 1890s.
This was a gold town that they knew gold was there, but it was overlooked because great strikes were found in Idaho, up in the Panhandle, as they call it. I think of it as a chimney. And miners deserted the place. Well, eventually they came back, and Garnet became a fairly short-lived, but still wonderful little town.
Like every other boom town, Garnet had many saloons where drinking, gambling, and prostitution were rampant. But they had a unique way to deal with these issues.
It was a miners' union town, and there was no real constable or sheriff. Disputes, illegalities, and so forth were brought up to the miners' union. And the justice meted out was quite simple. You could make a very good living here. Keep doing what you're doing, and you're out. And so there was a kind of self-discipline in the town. There's a jail, but it's very small. And the miners' union was really responsible for the kind of law-abiding quality of it. There's a wonderful 2-story hotel there, and you can it has stuff in it. It's not the original furniture and so forth, but there are dining tables. The kitchen is still there. The stove, I think, is probably an original. It looks like it would be very difficult to have moved in and out. On the second floor, there are dusty old mining the quarters in the hotel. So there's old furniture and so forth. A dressmaker's dummy, for example, is in one of them. And the overall effect of Garnet is absolutely terrific.
The state of Montana decided to preserve Garnet in the mid-1970s. That's when workers and caretakers started to hear the eerie and shadowy sounds of horses and wagons. But when they looked, there were none. At Kelly's Saloon, just after midnight, disembodied laughter and sounds of music are reportedly heard as the spirits dance in the shadows, and men's voices echo from the empty rooms. Caretakers also report hearing unexplained footsteps in the Old Wells Hotel, as well as doors slamming shut, even in places where no doors were present. These sounds could be heard day or night in the town or above it. Those who've experienced these unexplained sounds confirm that as soon as you approach the building, the noises stop. Winter visitors report seeing ghostly apparitions wearing old-fashioned clothing, walking the empty streets, and footprints in the fresh snow leading into buildings, but never coming out. There are several reports of a mysterious woman being seen in the upstairs rooms of the hotel, gazing out of the window, sending chills up the spine of whoever makes eye contact with her. The mountains surrounding Garnet are rich in gold-bearing quartz crystals. It's believed that these crystal deposits can hold information, such as an event in history. When this information is discharged, a residual haunting may occur. If someone releases a large amount of energy or emotion in a location, that energy can attach or imprint itself. The energy can then be experienced by individuals in the future, like a recording of past events. Full body or partial apparitions might be seen, and music, voices, or other sounds might be heard. In these cases, activity does not respond to or interact with the living. The event simply plays out as it was imprinted, oftentimes attached to a specific location or building. This type of residual haunting is present in another ghost town.
Hi, I'm Bill Ambrose. If you like this video, subscribe so we can bring you more programming from our studio. Thank you for subscribing.